Staying on Minnesota, why not? A Somali-run daycare in Minneapolis was reportedly broken into and vandalized earlier this week. Here's what the daycare manager had to say about it.
Unfortunately, we saw that there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were ripped from our book.
Well, the timing is interesting, isn't it? Nicole Parker joins us now. Nicole, obviously the FBI will get to the bottom of this, right?
Yes, I mean, all eyes are on Minnesota right now and all fraud related to what Nick Shirley has brought attention to right now. Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it?
How could that go on for so long? I mean, going back to 2018 and earlier than that, how could something like that go on with no one bringing it to the surface before now?
Well, and that's what the FBI will be looking into and doing a full and exhaustive investigation. These investigations take time, but I can tell you right now that there were things that people were seeing that were of concern. And there were certain field offices, not just in Minnesota, but across the country, where under the Biden administration, there were federal prosecutors that were literally not wanting to work certain investigations. They were saying, you know, that appears to be too political, and they were turning a blind eye almost to things that needed to be looked into. And so that's what's very disheartening about this. But rest assured that the DOJ and the FBI, they've already arrested 92 individuals in Minnesota. 80 of them are Somalis. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes that, you know, you may not see every day as an American citizen, but it is happening. And don't kid yourself. All eyes are on Minnesota, and not just Minnesota. I know that they're going to be looking closely into Columbus, Ohio, into Washington State, into Maine. This is a problem that is nationwide, and I do believe that these networks are very highly orchestrated and organized, and they work together behind the scenes nationwide.
So a lot more to come, as they say. But I want to get to this issue, Nicole. The FBI just revealed that they foiled a New Year's Eve terror plot in Charlotte, North Carolina. They say an 18-year-old planned to attack people inside of a grocery store. And this man says he was inspired by ISIS and wanted to commit jihad. I mean, are we going to suddenly see a resurgence of ISIS? They've been quiet. They are starting to pop up more overseas. But what's your take on this?
Unfortunately, I do. I think that we're going to see a resurgence. Under the first Trump administration, he'd basically obliterated it. But because of the policies of the next administration under Biden, I mean, we're seeing it popping up everywhere. And in America, we do need to be concerned. We do not know everyone that is in our country right now because of this open border that, you know, people were able to come in freely. But kudos to the FBI that they thwarted this plot, because it was a year ago that it was on New Year's Eve, that in New Year's Day in New Orleans, when it had not been thwarted. Under the last administration, their priorities were the wrong focus, and therefore 14 individuals were killed in New Orleans. Thank goodness that the FBI stopped this before it happened. But I do think that you'll be seeing more and more of these lone offenders who are acting, you know, on their own, that are being radicalized and instructed, but are carrying out things such as a grocery store in North Carolina.
Let's move on to this one, Nicole. President Trump is withdrawing the National Guard from Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland, at least for now. Trump says crime has gone down greatly since sending troops into these cities. Nicole, will crime stay down without the National Guard presence? How important are they to get cities that are prone to crime back online?
I think that the more law enforcement and presence that you have is always going to be a deterrent, and you're going to see a drop in crime. We know that that works, because as soon as President Trump came in and said, you know what, we're going to be about law and order and making America safe again, look at the homicide rate. It dropped, the largest increase in drop in homicides and murders in 1 year from 1 year before. I think that's substantial. I know that the FBI, 17 of their main field offices, had a double in violent crime arrests in 1 year. And so I think it's phenomenal work, but let's see what happens. I believe that, you know, President Trump, he will do whatever has to be done to make America safe. In these cities where their local authorities are not taking care of business because of their leadership, he's not going to let people suffer just because of that. So let's see what happens. But again, I believe in law and order. You must make America safe. And, you know, he said we'll bring in the National Guard if we happen to see the crime rates go up, we're bringing them back in.
Well, if I'm living in one of these cities and the National Guard comes in, I could not be happier. No doubt about that. Anything to reduce crime is a good thing. Nicole Parker, great stuff. Thank you so much for joining us today. We do appreciate it.